So if I understand you right, you're talking like a three-phase, when you make all like line to run out there and make the means to run it. Does all the ice storm stuff that we're doing for residential, is that gonna play into this with their increase then, or?
Well, when we allocate costs, I mean, we will traditionally, you know, we're looking at costs that are called operating costs mainly, which are year-to-year costs. The ice storm is, most of that is put in non-operating revenue because we're anticipating, or at least hoping, that you don't pay, or you don't have a storm every single year like you would normal operating. So we don't necessarily put as much weight to something like that into a rate design because we know and hope that that's a one-time thing. You're going to get some FEMA money back for it, and we don't want to put that into the rate design that's going to be paid for every single year. Once you put it in the rates, if you put in a large part of that storm into the rates, they're going to be paying like there was a storm every single year.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that,
And the lines we built, Ben, are probably gonna be up there for 30 years.
yeah.
You know, where you're collecting revenue off that.
But residential people, you know, they'll be asking, I'm sure, about it, complaining about their.
You know, we took the extra money and buried the lines in town. So I mean, there's the.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. It's kind of a, okay, burying lines is a whole lot more expensive. Having underground lines is a whole lot more expensive than overhead. Obviously, they're much less exposed to the weather. So the maintenance on an overhead line is more expensive than an underground. But the upfront capital cost is much more expensive in the underground. So it's kind of, I mean, you really have to get nuts and bolts on the numbers. But the bottom line is we try not to put too much into the storm, into the base rates that are going to be paid for every single year.
I just want to be clear, because I can just imagine a resident, or
You'll
rural
hear it,
coming up
yeah.
and saying, you know, you're just jacking us because of the ice storms.
Well, but we've almost sort of positioned it that way. It could be interpreted that, the way we've talked about it, could be interpreted that way.
Yeah,
So,
I
I
just
mean,
want
it's
to
not
make sure
that they're,
we're all
Right.
clear.
The key drivers here, guys, is the WAPA drought has been a 60% increase over the last 3 or 4 years. The MISO transmission cost is $100,000 to $150,000 that you just did not have before. And so that's much more important to the cost because that's every single year now going forward until the federal government decides something better to do.